to introduce Melanie Spaulding, who is a first-year graduate student in the School of Science in the biology department, who was also an undergraduate at JSU in biology. And Melanie has a pretty strong background in plant sciences, especially since she was a plant doctor. She actually did work healing people's trees and their lawns, and she did a good bit of work with invasive species as well before coming on as a grad student. She's a real strong proponent for the environment and is also very interested in Alabama biodiversity. And so she's going to talk about two projects, sort of back-to-back presentations, about plant diversity first in Cleburne County and then a new discovery for the state of Alabama. No?
Thank you, Dr. Triplett. So first, I will start with, I had to remember what order we were in. First, I'll talk a little bit about my thesis project, which is the Flora of Cleburne County, Alabama, which is our neighbor here in Calhoun County, and it's where I'm from. So this project is very special to me. In the state of Alabama, we are ranked 5th in the nation for biodiversity. And the really amazing thing is, the states that are ranked 1 through 4 are more than twice our size. And we are number 1 in biodiversity in all the states east of the Mississippi. And we are number 1 in the nation for all freshwater species, fishes, mussels, snails, crayfish, and turtles. And a lot of that diversity occurs in the Mobile-Tensaw Delta, which covers a large portion of the state. And we have more turtle species than the Amazon. So it's approximately 18 species of turtles, and that's more than any river system on the planet. So our biodiversity is incredibly important because the more biodiverse you are, the better off you are economically. We also have more carnivorous plants than any other place on the earth, if you think of pitcher plants. And then we have 55 kinds of orchids. I just threw that in there because everybody likes orchids. So for vascular plant diversity, Alabama is ranked 9th in the nation. This was in 2002. These are native plants, so it doesn't include non-native or even native subspecies and varieties. And we are 11th for vascular plants at risk. So unfortunately, we're also number 2 in the nation for species extinctions and number 4 for species in danger of becoming extinct. So the good news is that we should take pride in. We have a lot of endemic species and rare species to the state. So sometimes that's why our numbers are higher, because we have certain organisms that may only live in a single stream in the whole U.S. of A, or the whole world. So my project in Cleburne County is home to the highest point in Alabama at Chewhall, and also a third of our public and private lands are part of the Talladega National Forest. We have more of the Talladega National Forest than any of the other states. We also have 2 geographic regions, and we're around right here in Jacksonville. But we have the Ridge and Valley, and then the rest of the county is in the Piedmont region. So I am doing the first comprehensive flora for the county to serve as a biodiversity baseline. I want to identify the rare species as well as any exotic species. And my flora is a little different than most of the floras that you see because I actually include private lands in mine. So most floras are not, they're done on public lands. So the first thing I did was contact the public and ask for help. So I had asked friends and neighbors to take part and allow me onto their property that they own in Cleburne County. And I've had a lot of interest in what I'm doing at home, and I've had people stop me on the side of the road and want me to come to their property because they know what I'm doing. And the sheriff's department knows me very well. locally as well as statewide too, but I try to encourage people to give me a call, and I get emails of pictures of plants wanting to know what they have. So many people are interested in this, all walks of life, from the lady at the gas station who sees me all the time, who happened to see the article that invited me to her property, to a former judge who sent me pictures of plants on his property that, he's out walking his dog and sees. So I have a large variety of people interested. Another factoid that is really awesome is Cleburne County has had 5 floras done in the past, all here at JSU. And in 1983, Cheatham Hall State Park. 95, the Talladega National Forest, Talladega Ranger District, Mark Ballard. That's in Cleburne and Clay counties. Horsesclock Mountain in 1997, that's Cleburne only. Duggar Mountain, Francine Hutchinson, Cleburne and Calhoun counties. And then in 2002, Winnegar, she surveyed Chocolaca Creek, which is in Cleburne, Calhoun, and Talladega counties. So there's already been 5, so you think, why do another one for the whole county? That's a lot of work right there. Well, my preliminary data, I've collected well over 5,000 taxa since May of this past year. Approximately a third of all of my collection are new records for the county. And that just means when I say new records, they have not been previously documented before. So I have found all of my data just to show you the higher up you go as far as in the kingdom, the more biodiverse you are. So we've added 2 new orders, 10 new families, 50 new genera, and over 150 new taxa so far to the county. Some of the noteworthy species, I won't go through all of these, but just to give you an indication, a lot of these plants have not been found in almost 50 years. So that's really important to show that, they're still there, and then again, how biodiverse we are. And if I can find them in one or more geographic region, then that's really impressive to our county. And I've also found a lot of state-listed plants. This one, the former judge that I was talking about, that's his photograph. I haven't collected this yet. This is the pink lady slipper, and I will be on his property bright and early this spring when it's out. And it has not been seen in the county for almost 50 years. And then this was actually on my family's land. This is the southern nodding trillium, and it's ranked as an S2 species. And then I've also found 3 new species highlighted in yellow that are also state listed. So this is a really big deal to find these, and it's so important that we take care of our lands. So next I'll show you a couple of pictures of what I like to call range extensions and filling in the gap to show you what I mean. Out of 5 surveys, as you can tell, this is Cleburne County. So the blue mistflower has been found basically in just about every county in the state except for a handful. And Cleburne was one of them. So it's just kind of filling in that gap to show that it's there. The American elm tree, that's another one. It's found, you could probably just about find it in every county, but it had never been documented in Cleburne. We have 2 passion flowers. The yellow passion flower, everyone knows the purple passion flower. You've seen it in fields and along roadsides. But the second native passion flower, Flora lutea, had never been documented in the county, and I've since found it in the Ridge Valley as well as the Piedmont region of the county. The white nymph, and these flowers are almost the size of a pen tip. They're very tiny. Tall hairy agrimony, Agrimonia crepuscipala. This is a record for the Piedmont geographic region, and it's only been documented in 2 counties in the state. The salad violet, as you can see, it's usually found in southern Alabama, and only been documented in 3 counties. That's also a Piedmont geographic record. That was found on my parents' property. Short seed waterwort. That's only been documented in 2 counties on the western side of the state. So that was a huge record for us. This is a non-native species, the rose glory bower, and our non-native species are important too because it shows that we're going to have an issue with this plant because all of our non-native species are invasive, some more so than others, but that chokes out our own native plants, and it also can affect even wildlife. So this plant is going to be a problem, as beautiful as it is. Potamiki polker, the spotted pondweed, that was another really great find for our county. American bellflower, I have found it in both the Piedmont and Ridge and Valley regions of the county, and it is absolutely gorgeous if you ever see this plant. Blue Ridge carry-on flower, that was a really nice Piedmont record for our county and our area because it's absolutely gorgeous, and these are the fruits of that, and they eventually turn blue. These were unripened when I found that plant. Brazilian waterweed, I found that when I was out snailing this summer. And this is going to be, it's an invasive. It's not as invasive as some of the other water weeds that are non-native, but this one is becoming a big problem for boats. So it's really important to know where these plants are. And this is one of my favorite finds. Polygonata biflorum commutatum is a variety of the Solomon seal. This is the large Solomon seals. This has only been documented 3 times in our state in just 3 counties, so 1 in each of those counties. And I have found 8 populations in Cleburne County, and I have found 6 in the Piedmont area close to where I live, and then I found 2 other populations in the northern end of the county in the Ridge and Valley region. And these are some of the other plants that I found that are newly reported. This one I found in my yard. It is called ponyfoot, and it looks, if you can tell from the slide, it looks like a pony's foot. And it is a tiny leaf-like plant that you see on the ground. It's, I'm sure, right outside the library here. Summer or fall phlox, bergamot, knapweed, the green dragon, not a Bruce Lee movie, or a sushi roll. And then also one of the scarlet morning glories. That's a non-native plant that I found. I would like to thank the JSU School of Science, the Department of Biology, Dr. Triplett, who's been an amazing mentor, Dr. TJ for keeping me going and motivating me, and Dr. Wayne Marger for on my thesis committee, and then various property owners that have allowed me, and I have a lot more that want to remain anonymous. And then my husband, who has been championing me the whole way, and it's great to live with another mentor of mine because he's one of the top taxonomists in the state. I would say the top because he's my husband, and I don't want to give him a big head about that. And then my daughters and my son and my parents for allowing me onto their property and supporting me as well. So thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, you mentioned a lot of new records for occurrence in Cleburne County, which were already present in some other county, and therefore they had a name. But if you discover something, well, I wonder what this is, how do you backtrack to find out, has this already got a name or is it something brand new? Because, I mean, in most searching, particularly with digital searching, you have to start with the word. You've got to have something to stick in that search box to find out what more is there to get.
Right.
And I was just wondering, what was the, I guess, the protocol or the algorithm, or whatever you want to call it, for, okay, I've got this, now what is it called? Or is it brand new and I get to name it?
Sure. Well, first I would start out by looking at the characteristics of the plant to see if I can narrow down at least what family it might be in, and then go from there. And I use different field guides that are wonderful, and then Alan Weekly from University of North Carolina. he also has a huge guide, and everything is keyed out for you. So you have to start there, and you just kind of have to take your time, because it's a very slow process if you can't figure out what the family is. But there are countless websites out there. Alabama has their own website for looking up plants that are already been documented here. So if I can't find it in the keys, then I go to their website, which also has links to different databases, whether it's USDA, CERNIC, BONAP. There's a whole variety of ways that you can research plants. So it just kind of depends on, is it just the flower that's unique, or can you tell that it's an aster and in that family, and then go from there and work back. And if you're out of luck, then you have to call and ask an expert and see if they can help you figure out and narrow it down. So it's hard to stump some of our leading botanists in the state. They've all helped me at some point in time when I can't figure out, because I had a larkspur that was deformed and I could not figure it out. And I didn't even know it was a larkspur because it was so deformed. So I finally just had to call a friend and say, what is this? And so Dr. Brian Keener is another botanist, and he actually helped me figure out what it was, and that it was just deformed. So you can get very stuck very quickly unless you take the time to use the resources that we have.
Well, I would say thank your speaker again, but we're just about to do it back to back. So she's about to start right back up again with the poster, so when you're ready.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. Switching gears. So I did a poster on a new species that I found, not for Cleburne County, for Randolph County. And this is the lemon daylily, Hemerocallis, lilioasphodelus. And it is, it's never been found in Alabama before. It's actually native to Asia, and people plant this a lot of times in their garden, and it doesn't spread as easily as everyone I think is familiar with the orange daylily that you see everywhere. It is a huge problem for us because it is not supposed to be here. But this one does not spread as quickly. There are very, very few documentation collections for this plant. And I actually listed on my poster, the nearest one is in Middle Tennessee to the north, East Texas, the Florida Panhandle, and then southeastern Georgia. So it is not common at all. And it was documented in Mississippi, but I was able to kind of debunk that one, if you will, because the description said they found it by a lodge at the driveway. So that was obviously planted. This one was on a right-of-way, so more than likely, if I were a betting person, it was probably, it probably got there via birds, because it's right under the power line. I mean, you can probably draw a straight line. And this was a very wide power line area. There wasn't much around it, and these were not planted anywhere in the area. And I have seen this with other plants as well, but it's important to document, even though this is a non-native species, just because we know now that yes, it is spreading and can spread on its own, or if you will, through birds or other animals. And so this is something that we need to take note of, keep track of, because like I said, some are going to spread quicker than others, and that really does affect our local biodiversity. And so that's why I always encourage people to plant native plants and not plant non-native exotic species, because these can become a problem. But I found this on a botanizing trip. My husband and my son, who was 3 at the time, we got in the car and decided to go visit our family's property in Wedowee on the lake and see what we could find. And after I'd already stopped him 30 times previously before we even got to our destination, He thought, what now? Why are you stopping me? And I was just like, what is that? It's yellow. It looks like a lily. We were pretty far off the road. And so I stopped and ran up the bank to this property and picked it up. And then, lo and behold, discovering what it was, I immediately went to the Alabama Plant Atlas, which is our website for Alabama plants that have been documented throughout the state. And this yellow lily was not on there. And I knew it was a daylily, so I just started with the daylilies and went from there. And luckily, though, I did have my husband with me, so I kind of cheated a little and knew within a few minutes, yes, that was what it was. And then went through the descriptions of the plant just to verify that that is indeed what I was seeing. So it was a pretty exciting find, even though it's not quite as warm and fuzzy a feeling just because it's a non-native, but it does help further the botanical research that goes on every day throughout the state. So, thank you.
Okay, yes. One of the previous presentations was talking about signal to noise ratio, and they used Where's Waldo as a huge example of that.
Yeah.
What is it like searching through that noisy picture for the right, like, I know of course your eyes are trained differently than the rest of us, but like, what is that search like? You mentioned the power lines. Do you actually go, okay, this is where the birds have probably, moved out of plant here, and like how do you know how to work
I did not do that for this one. I literally just saw a flash of yellow out of the corner of my eyes, and that is literally what I screamed was, stop, it's yellow. I didn't know what it was. And I just knew that it was unusual instantly, that it wasn't something I was normally seeing out in the landscape. And so then I stopped and caught the eye. However, there are some plants that are so tiny, people just overlook them. I've seen plants that, they're, that tall, they're an inch tall and even smaller as far as width. And so I spend most of my time like this, walking, and I embarrassed my children. At their middle school, I found a pennywort. I found 2 species. One was a new record for the county. The other one was a very rare pennywort. And I found both growing together, and I was all excited, and I was squatted down, taking pictures, sitting down on the ground, and they were embarrassed of me, and all of their friends were chatting and making fun of me, but I didn't care. But you just kind of zone in, and you look for different shapes and sizes. And my favorite time to go out is right after a rain, because the dust has been knocked off of everything, and it's just this magical place to be in when you're out in the woods or walking beside the road and looking at all of these wonderful things that are growing right in front of you that you really didn't take the time to look at and notice. And you could probably even out here find 50 things between here and next door, just looking on the ground that you would normally never pay attention to. But I think that's like that with anything that you're interested in, and it just really shows once you start looking, because you do find that you do have an eye for that, and you love what you're doing. So I think I find more that way of just being attentive. And my first thought when I get out of the car is, I'm going to find something neat, and I can't wait to see what I'm going to find. And every day that's true, because I never know, and I'm surprised every time. It's just a lot of fun. I encourage any of you to come join me in the field at any time.
We've got time for maybe one more question.
How common is this in the ornamental plant tree?
This one's very common, and everybody likes yellow and white and purple plants, but this one is extremely common. I see it all the time planted in people's yards throughout any of the surrounding counties. I've seen it multiple times. So I think that it's going to be an issue just because of that, even though it's a slower spreading plant than some of our others, like English ivy, for instance, which is horrible. Please don't buy that. But this one, I see it a lot. So I haven't seen it spreading from where it's been planted at other places yet. However, with this happening already, it's just a matter of time. It's just a time long.
Okay, let's thank our speaker one more time.